go ahead and get that good and, you know, good and moist. And then what I do is I'll take it and I'll take this front part and I'll roll it over. See that? I'll roll it over the front part there. And I'll just kind of go back and forth gently, pushing it through. Pull it back through. And this is just because we're at the very beginning part of cleaning. So we just want to get it in there. Okay. Then we're just going to sit that off to the side. Same thing over here. See, and because I did this here, you know, it's not going back in there, so I can keep dipping in there. I'm going to take that. And just kind of, you know, just kind of get it all in there. I should have actually put this one in the larger one, which I have here. You know, made for the larger barrel, but we're just going to use this. You know, just kind of rub it around gently. Because the biggest thing is you don't want to go scratching up the inside of your barrel with your push rod. You don't want to do angles and things like that. Also here, but as you can see, it's pretty dirty there. So what I may even do here is I have larger. See, I have these big ones here. And I may have to go to the larger, which I'm going to have to do, because after I pushed that in there, I saw exactly how dirty it was, and it's pretty dirty. See, I take these to the range fairly often. I love shooting the high points, just because they are so big and so clunky, and I find that for myself personally, because it's so big, it's so clunky, that as I'm practicing with that and I'm getting that down packed, so you have this adapter here that goes on here. Now, to be honest with you, these are the things that I myself don't like. I don't like adapters and pieces and other parts and pieces, and you know, the more I have to put on here to get it through there to get it clean, the more I worry about my barrel, you know, my bore, and what's happening in there. So we're just going to push that through. And we're going to be real careful. We're just going to push that through. We're going to, you see that? And we're not going to hold this. We're going to let it turn. And let's just say I was a little more surprised at how dirty this was. Okay, so we're going to set that to the side. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to set that to the side. I generally have myself a little bag here that I'm going to grab. Okay, I have my little bag. And in my little bag is where I put my little trash. My cleaning things, because you're going to dispose of this differently than you would dispose of other things. Like say you were just cleaning your house or whatever, you're going to dispose of this differently than you dispose of other things. Okay, so now we're over here. With this high point, we'll need that. You want to go in here, you want to get your small punch, and this would be your 1/16. So my 1/16, and in here, well, that happened. You want to avoid that happening. So obviously I've cleaned that out pretty good before. If it's really gunked up, you would use this to go in this rail here and push that down. But this one isn't fouled up as badly, so it just fell out there. So let's see if that happens over here too. And this happens over here too with the 9mm. So it just fell out, so we're going to take that apart too. Of course, we're letting this sit over here in the barrel, kind of letting it marinate. And we're going to go over this direction here. And what we're going to do here now is same thing. Actually, I'm going to grab the new and grab the different one. I'm going to go in here. Just going to kind of knock everything loose. Now you'll find that a lot of times you'll clean it, and there'll be fouling, and you'll clean it, and there'll be fouling. And you're like, whoa, will it ever get clean? And to that, I do not have the answer yet. However, I do find that interesting myself, so just to let you know you're not alone. If you have that thought process, you're not alone in that. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit more of this. I'm off camera here a little bit. Hoppy's 9 here. Okay. Now what you want to do here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just grab my brush. I'm going to dip that into the Hoppies. And I'm just going to start, get it in there. Clean it up. Slide every place. Now, this is my first time using this brush. The bristles are like very firm, which is catching me off guard a little bit. I'm used to using toothbrushes. Let me get that right there. But this is super firm. And it even has this little back piece here that, I don't know if my head's in the way or, anyway, this little back piece where you can actually use that as well. But I'm just using this. And got that one there, that's the 45. I'm going to tip this and put that in there and shake it up a little bit. I'm going to go to the 9mm, we're going to scrub this in here. Now, of course, with the polymers and whatnot like that, you want to do it a little different. With the metals, I don't see a really big deal. I've never had any problems with the cleaner sitting on there and working itself a little bit. You'll let it work in the bore more than you will on your actual pieces. Here, just going to take that, do a quick scrub. Gets it all the way through. And the bin. Quick scrub. With the firing pins, you want to be a little bit more discerning, of course. So we're going to get that, and we're going to go to the firing spring. And I just roll it, and if you just roll it, you put a kind of a little bit of tension on it, it'll roll through just like a screw being screwed down into something. And then you can look, you can see how bad it is and whether you need to do more to your firing pin. The reason why they say you want to make sure that you have a clean area just like there was a hair, a very long hair. So that being caught up in there would be no bueno. I'm going to wipe my firing pin off. Now they have this down here inside, of course, inside the firing pin. I like to just take my 3/8. Just give it a little wipe off in there. You see it did. Yeah. Maybe I need to put on my, so you guys can see a little better. And that's to the 45, so you want to put that over there in 45 bin. You're going to go over here to the 9mm bin. Now what I found with that, when it comes to the firing pins, I think they're almost identical. The springs are, of course, a different matter. Smaller spring here. In this firing pin setup, you have a smaller spring, then you have a larger spring. And it's kind of like the Glock springs they have in there, depending on the generation. They'll have a smaller spring and then a larger spring. We're just wiping that all down. The firing pin, wipe that down. Now you don't have to, keep on, have a super clean rag to do this, or, super clean patch, because you're cleaning the firearm, So, you just go ahead and get it done. I'm not going to go through 101 patches cleaning a firearm when it's not necessary. You're using cleaning solvents and things like that, so you're good to go. I'll even hit this little pin here. The reason why I'm cleaning this pin off, because it does function with, because this is stationary and the slides over this. See, so the slide just goes back and forth over this. So, you want to make sure that it's cleaned. You have the fouling off of that. And you want to make sure when you put it back in, there's a little lubrication. This is a high wear and tear part, but at the same time, it's right in there with the firing pin.